Good morning, children. Today we will be beginning with chapter 4. In this section we will be taking elasticity of demand. Now, when we talk about law of demand, we were talking about the change of direction in demand to change in price, right? That law was not telling us about the magnitude or intensity of the change in demand to change in price. In order to find out the exact amount of change in demand to change in price, we must know the elasticity of demand. Now, what is elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand is it refers to the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity to a change in any of its determinants. Which determinants? The determinants of demand we studied, such as price of the commodity itself, price of related goods, income of the consumer, taste and preference. All these are determinants which can be taken up to measure the elasticity. But here we'll only be taking up three determinants, and these are price of the commodity itself, income of the consumer, and prices of related commodities. So overall we'll be studying three types of elasticities over here: price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, and cross elasticity of demand. Now, what is price elasticity of demand? The book says that price elasticity of demand may be defined as the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity in response to a change in its price. So what does it say? It says that when the price changes, to what extent the demand will change, that can be measured with the price elasticity of demand. So, or more precisely, we can say that price elasticity of demand refers to the ratio of the percentage change in the quantity demanded of a commodity to a given percentage change in its price. So, we can also measure, to be precise and exact, we measure the percentage or ratio of the change in demand to change in price. Now, the formula for this is EP, that is price elasticity, is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Now we classify the price elasticity. That is, by what do you mean by classification? For different goods the elasticity will be different. That is, the change in price will get a different measure of change in demand for different commodities. For that sake, we have classified the price elasticity of demand into different degrees, right? So overall we have 5 degrees of price elasticity of demand. The first degree is perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand is where the change in price does not get any change in the quantity demanded. In this case, the shape of the demand curve will be perfectly inelastic, or it will be parallel to y-axis. The price may change, but the demand won't respond to a change in price, right? Then second is perfectly elastic demand. In this case, the consumer will be demanding anything at a given price and nothing at all at a slightly higher price. In this case, the shape of the demand curve will be perfectly elastic, that is parallel to x-axis, right? Then third is unitary elastic demand. Unitary elastic demand means when the change in demand is equal to the change in price. For example, if the price changes by 10% of a commodity, the demand will also change by the 10%. This is what you mean by unitary elastic demand. Now here the degree will be equal to 1. We also term it as rectangular hyperbola because at all the points on this demand curve the elasticity will be the same, right? It moves toward the y-axis, this curve moves toward the x-axis also, but it does not touch any of the axes. Then next is elastic demand. Elastic demand is when the percentage change in demand is more than offset by the percentage change in price. It is said to be elastic demand curve, right? Then next is inelastic. Inelastic, when the percentage change in demand is less than percentage change in price, it is known as inelastic demand. Alright, let us come to the diagram part of the degrees of elasticity. Just now we have studied about 5 degrees of elasticity, right? The first degree of elasticity is perfectly inelastic. Alright. Now perfectly inelastic, again, as I told you, that here what happens, that the demand does not respond at all to the change in price, right? This is price or y-axis and this is quantity or x-axis. Now suppose we have taken price P0, P1 and P2, right? Quantity we have taken Q0 over here. The demand curve will be perfectly inel to y-axis. Price may change, but the quantity demanded will remain OQ0 throughout this length and width. The quantity demanded won't change to change in price. So the demand curve will be perfectly inelastic, parallel to y-axis, and the degree EP will be equal to 0. Is that clear, children? The second degree, children, is perfectly elastic demand. Perfectly elastic demand curve. Now here what happens? Here again, price we have taken on OX axis, quantity we have taken, right? And price we are taking on OY axis. Now what is happening over here? That at a given price, say OP0, the consumer will be demanding everything that he can, right? So the demand curve will be parallel to OX axis over here, and nothing at all at a slightly higher price. The quantity, right, the quantity will be here, it will be parallel to X axis. The consumer would be demanding everything at a given price, but nothing at all at a slightly higher price. The demand curve will be parallel to X axis. This is known as perfectly elastic demand curve, and the degree will be EP is equal to infinity. The third degree, children, is unitary elastic demand curve, right? So what happens over here? In this such a curve, quantity and again x-axis, price again on y-axis. In this case, the curve moves towards both the axes, x-axis also and y-axis also, but does not touch them, right? It is also known as rectangular hyperbola because the elasticity on all the points on this demand curve is same, right? That is, you can measure like this over here, and the degree for such elasticity will be equal to 1. Is that clear? The next degree, children, that is the fourth degree, is elastic demand. Here, as we have read in the theory part, here the percentage change in demand is greater than percentage change in price. Let's see how. Price is, suppose, P0 and P1. Quantity is Q0 and Q1. When the price was P1, the quantity was Q0. When the price price falls from P1 to P0, the quantity demanded increases from Q0 to Q1. You can see the difference, that is the change in price is less than change in demand. Can you see that, children? Now the demand curve will be a flatter one. This demand curve is going to be a flatter one, right? And the degree over here will be greater than 1. The next degree is, children, that is the last degree, that is inelastic demand. That is the fifth one. Here, the opposite of elastic happens over here. Here, P0 again, P1 and then Q0, Q1. When the price was P1, the quantity demanded was Q0. When the price falls from P1 to P0, the quantity demanded changes to Q0 to Q1. This is a steeper curve. This is a steeper curve, right? Now here again you can see the change in price is more than change in demand, right? And the degree here will be equal to less than 1. Alright, children. So this was the diagram part that you have seen on the board. Now we will continue with the things. Now the next topic is methods of measurement of price elasticity of demand. The first method of measuring price elasticity of demand is point method, right? The point method says when price elasticity of demand is measured at a particular point on a demand curve, it is called point elasticity. I hope you are getting the meaning. That is, when on a given demand curve there is a point, and on that point when you measure the elasticity, it is known as point elasticity of demand. Now such a point elasticity is used when price elasticity is measured for very small degrees of changes in price and quantity. Then it is called point elasticity. That is, if we have to measure very small changes in quantity and price, then we use this kind of method, that is the point elasticity method. Now the concept of point elasticity is useful when changes in price and quantity are infinitely small, right? Then the next is arc elasticity. When elasticity of demand is measured over a finite range or arc of a demand curve, it is called arc elasticity of demand. Previously we said that we were measuring elasticity on a point, but when we measure the elasticity over a given range, that is known as an arc, and so we term it as arc elasticity of demand. For example, the measure of elasticity between point R and R1, I'll be showing it to you just now. For example, the measure of elasticity between point R and R1 on the demand curve TD is the measure of arc elasticity. The arc elasticity of demand can be measured by percentage method and total expenditure method. So what are we gathering all together? That we have methods of measuring elasticity. First method is arc point elasticity, where we are measuring elasticity at a point on a demand curve. Then we come to arc elasticity, where we are measuring the elasticity over a given finite range, right? And then we are subclassifying arc elasticity, and we are saying that arc elasticity can be measured with two methods. One is percentage or proportionate method, and the next is total expenditure method, right? Alright, so we said that we have two kinds of elasticity methods. One is point method, right? And point method says when you measure elasticity, point method says when you measure elasticity, again this is quantity axis, OX axis.